What is up, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of our Kings-related podcast, wherever you may be. In this post-game recap, where the Sacramento Kings took down the Toronto Raptors as DeRozan continues to climb the all-time NBA scoring list. But first, thank you as always for joining me for another edition of the show. And if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you give us a follow on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast platform you prefer. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. Game 77 tonight. The Kings are now 20-57, if my math is correct. And this team may not have much left to play for as we mercifully wind this season down to a close. But that doesn't mean there aren't going to be things to keep, that this team's not going to keep on coming out swinging and trying to win, even though as fans we don't want this team to win. And the Kings, in an impressive win, 123-115, took down the Toronto Raptors, who came into tonight 6th in the Eastern Conference, to close out this 5-game road trip to snap their losing streak. They are 1-4 on this trip. And while a loss would have helped their lottery odds for the draft lottery in May and the draft coming up in June, it's nice to see this team get back in the win column, even if as fans it's just the 20th time this season that they've won a game and the beam is lit. And while this record and the lottery position for this team is nearly set, especially after this win tonight, like, this team still has 2 future Hall of Famers on this roster. And they're continuing to climb the leaderboards with Russ, who remains out with an injury. But you have DeRozan, who shows up night in and night out as this team closes out this horrendous season that we've watched, and he continues to hit another historic landmark. And he did it tonight, where in the third quarter he passed Dominique Wilkins for 17th on the all-time scoring list when he hit a 3-pointer, which is fitting that it came from beyond the arc downtown to put him ahead of that NBA legend, Dominique, as he's known for his patented mid-range shooting his entire NBA career. Just incredible. And DeMar, he wasn't done after that. Like he went on to finish this game 28 points, 4 assists, 7 of 18 shooting from the field, and he was also perfect from the free throw line. 12 for 12 from the charity strike, and it was a vintage DeRozan performance in a city where the team drafted him from USC in Toronto, and it's something we've seen time and time again, and even more so because of the team who drafted him way back when out of USC in the Toronto Raptors. Just incredible night. Like, DeRozan, who started and he built his Hall of Fame legacy for 9 years in Toronto. Like, he's had a few different homes since then, with stops in San Antonio and then Chicago. but he will always be known as a Raptor, and his jersey more than likely will be retired in Toronto when it's all said and done. So shout out to DeRozan for tonight. But another guy who continues to impress as we wind down this season, and with DeRozan would get most of the headlines from this game, Precious Achiuwa continues his monster second half of this season. 28, just like DeRozan, 19 rebounds, and 11 of those were offensive rebounds. And Precious continues to make every single team in this league look back, as he was a free agent weeks into the start of this season, before Scott Perry signed up in early November. And his hustle and his energy, they fit exactly what Doug Christie is trying to build here in Sacramento with this team. And he may be playing for himself a bigger contract this summer as he's a free agent. But at this point, the Kings, they should absolutely do everything they can do to bring Precious back next season for that front court to go with Keegan, Max, Dylan, and whoever your first round pick is this upcoming draft in June. So, this game may not have been the best outcome that we fans want for the Kings and their lottery positioning, but it was a fun game to watch, and it will make it even more fun plane ride home back to Sacramento. And it's important to remember here how important that it is to the players and this team. So for tonight, let's set aside the lottery standings and the odds, all that worry, and let's enjoy watching a future Hall of Famer cement his legacy even more in DeMar DeRozan, who found joy in watching an NBA journey, a man who continues to have a career-defining stretch of NBA basketball. So yes, this was an unexpected win. The Kings flew 2 days off. You fly north of the border and to Toronto to face the Raptors, who on the second night of a back-to-back. Toronto played in Detroit last night, and the Kings found a way to pick up the 20 of the season. And we talked about Precious and DeMar. Malik Monk, who missed the loss to the Brooklyn Nets a couple days ago on Sunday, he looked like that break gave him an extra bounce in his step. Monk scored 9 points in the first quarter of this game. He finished with 18 overall, 4 assists, and when Malik Monk is rolling, he's a lot of fun to watch on the basketball floor for the Sacramento Kings. Maxime Renaud picked up 3 fouls early in this ball game. He had 2 fouls in the first quarter, and he had to watch most of this game from the bench. And he only managed 6 points, but he grabbed 8 rebounds. But it was in just minutes that he did that. And Renaud, he looks exhausted when you watch him play. And does he have to climb over? Does he have to climb over one last rookie wall before this season is over? And we'll see. We only have 5 games left, I believe, if my math is correct. So one more rookie wall for Max to climb over, and before this season finally comes to an end. Devin Carter, who started tonight alongside Nick Clifford, and he had an impact on this game. I thought Devin attacked the glass, had a couple of nice putbacks for buckets, and Devin even hit a 3 on his way to 13 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists in this game. Daquan Plowden, he's trying to fight his way into this league in the NBA. Currently a 2-way contract for the Kings that pays half of the league's minimum salary, and it's not his job to worry about the draft lottery that the Kings are trying to hold their odds. He's playing for a contract for next season, whether that's a 2-way contract or a standard NBA deal with maybe the Sacramento Kings. And he hit some big shots in big moments. And tonight, he finished with 11 points tonight in this Kings win north of the border in Toronto, as the Kings won 123-115. They're now 20-57 on the season. They come home. They face the Pelicans on Friday night, and then they got the Clippers on Sunday night back home at the G1C. So that will do it for this post-game recap of the Kings' unexpected victory as they close out this 5-game road trip, 1-4. Again, if you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you give us a follow on Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast platform you prefer. We are a video podcast on Spotify and YouTube, so by all means, please catch the video feed, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. But until next time, we'll see you Friday night for another post-game recap following the Pelicans and the Kings. Thank you, as always, for joining me on the Kings-related podcast. And as always, go Kings and light the beam.